Hello, and welcome to my introduction video for Chiori-chan's web server. This has been a project of mine for about the past 3 years or so that I have built from the ground up. It originally started as a PHP framework, and to today it is now actually a Java framework that I had transitioned over to Java actually after I noticed that there was a lot of issues with the Java solutions for web servers such as Tomcat and Resin and Glassfish. There was a lot of things that I liked in the older PHP frameworks that were out there, and I had been writing one for a while, but then, of course, there was a lot of power that was not there, most specifically things such as when the servers had to restart. So ultimately, I had gone over to a Java framework eventually, which again just continued the transition into even better and better. Today, it is a quite powerful web server, capable of doing things such as having an embedded Groovy shell, which the Groovy basically took over the embedded PHP. There's also a very rich plugin system, which is actually based off of Minecraft's Bucket server. I actually used a lot of their open source code for inspiration behind writing the plugin system, since it was something I very much enjoyed while I was writing plugins for Bucket. The earlier versions, like I said, were on PHP, and there was a lot of beta writing I had in the beginning. Of course, you can find more information about this if you were to go on my GitHub. My username, Chiori-Green. I will actually leave that in the description as a link if anyone's interested in reading more about that. Later on, I had actually transitioned to the Java server, which of course that repository is as well as available and open source. Additionally, I have the repository automatically build on my own personal Jenkins build server. So this is actually would be the best way to grab the latest version. I am intending to be uploading videos to help people learn how to use my web server, because one thing I've run into with trying to find people who want to deploy this and start using it and start getting the word out there is, and I've experienced this with other projects out there, is that there is no easy documentation. Of course, I intend to write further manual documentation, but considering that that's a lot of work and videos do say 1,000,000 words, I have I'm going to be writing out some tutorials here, making out some tutorials here, so people can learn firsthand from the designer, the creator of the program, on how to do particular things. These videos, don't know how many exactly I'll do as I come across new features that need to get put out there. I'm gonna at least start with the basics, maybe a dozen videos, but I will keep going as long as I need to. As of this video, the latest build, this is for version 8.2, build 139. Of course, my builds keep going up as I keep making updates to the server. There's also a few plugins available. I can go quickly into just some description of what these do. The first one here is called the email plugin. This was just a very simple plugin I wrote. Instead of implementing the ability for the server to send emails directly, I just wrote a little plugin you can drop, plug and play, done. I also implemented I ported over permissions EX, done by SK8, SK something. He's the developer of actually World Edit as well as Modify World and Permissions EX. He wrote those three plugins for the Bucket, Minecraft Bucket. But of course, I always loved Permissions EX, so it was something I ported over for Permissions Base. One day I do pretend to maybe improve on the embedded permission system, but of course until then this is what I stuck with and I love it. Then there's the templates plugin. This is a plugin I highly recommend for any anybody who's going to be using my web server. There's a lot it does, and of course, when we get started on my basic tutorials here, maybe the second or third video I'll go into what the templates plugin really does, and what it does is amazing. But at the same time, it's not for everybody. So that would be one reason why I implemented it as a plugin versus putting it straight in the server. And then of course, the all is just your all contained jar. You can run it. Everything is self-contained. One thing that's really nice about my web server is it's easily upgradable. The all build right here is all you need to get started. You basically run the jar. I recommend it. It's built for Java 7. Should run on Java 8. I haven't done Java 8 testing yet, since it's a much more newer version of Java. But it is guaranteed to work on Java 7, I believe 67. Obviously, I also just recently implemented Java docs, which this was part of my goal to start building Java docs for the servers, for my server, and how to find the API. Of course, you can dig into the sources, but of course, I know some people are a little more bigger fans of Java docs. And then obviously right down here, this is just a straight up build of the server. It doesn't contain all the libraries. Unfortunately, I don't recommend using this way because it is more of an advanced setup. Not to mention, I don't really know why you would want to go with this one, since you would have to obtain all the libraries, which I don't just... I mean, they are available through the Palm, I believe, but of course this is not really the way I've done things, so hoping that as I gain popularity for my project, hopefully these are little things that could possibly be straightened out. Anyways, I hope to see whoever is watching this video who is interested in this series, that will continue to follow along with the tutorials, and of course I will be taking questions or anything that people would be interested, as well as I am looking for people who are interested in contributing and giving feedback on the project. So, thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing everybody on the other side.